Hello, happy Easter. Hopefully you guys are celebrating or finding reasons to be happy in this first week of Eastertide. On Making Sense of It All, we've tried to look at what's happening in the world and then what happens in our faith and tried to make the two fit together. And I suppose the season of Lent, that's been quite easy to kind of figure out and connect, because Lent is about understanding suffering and understanding hardships and being apart and being away and going without, the same way we are. Now, although that's not changed in our world, we're still separate from each other, we're still suffering, we're still finding things difficult, we're now entering into the season of Easter, and the season of Easter is all about joy. How do we make those two things marry up? How do we make those two things fit together? Well, I think you'll probably be finding right now that the only way to get through this, the only way to find hope, the only way to realise there's going to be an end to this is to be joyful when we can. It doesn't mean forgetting the fact that people are suffering and that people are dying and that things are difficult. That's always going to be there. But what it means for us now is that more than ever, we need to bring the joy to people's lives through that contact on social media, through that video chat, through that letter, through that wave across the street whilst keeping our distance. We need to be the joy, because of course what happened for the disciples just after Jesus was crucified, died and then came back to life was that they were in a world filled with suffering and misery, and it was their job to be the joy. Now, they found that difficult. Even though Jesus was appearing to them and seeing them and they were kind of feeling that resurrection joy, it took them days, weeks, until the Holy Spirit finally inspired them to go out there and tell the good news, to be the good news to the world. Now, we've got that right now. We've got that same spirit inside of us, and our job is to go and do what the disciples did. See something awesome and share it with other people. One thing you will have noticed, of course, probably everywhere on streets is the rainbow. A really early Old Testament sign of God keeping his promise. And interestingly, of course, a rainbow only happens once there's been rain, and then the light. So you kind of have to have the bad bit and the good bit to see the real beauty of what God's love can do. Well, we've got the rain at the moment, we've got the kind of difficulty, but that light of Easter now needs to shine through that to create something beautiful. So maybe what you might want to do in terms of making sense of it all is to create a beautiful rainbow and get that in your window as a sign of thanksgiving and joy. And then, of course, find ways to be the joy for other people. Be happy, be positive, bring light where there is rain, and that image of God's love and God's promises that are kept will be all the clearer for the people who need it the most right now. And of course then we'll have hope going forward, because that's what we need more than ever in this Easter season. Have an amazing week if you can. Be joyful if you can. And for those who can't, help them out. Be their joy for them. Be their Easter joy for them. And in doing so, share the good news in the same way Christ calls us to thousands of years ago and calls us to do today. Have a happy, joyful Easter, and we'll see you soon.